Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at the Descriptive Statistics applet. So here's the applet. We click on this. Okay, and then what we're going to be doing is pasting data into this box. So if you want, you can just keep the data in here and press some of these buttons to see what happens, but we're going to take some data from an Excel file and paste it into here. So I'm going to first hit clear. We don't want anything else in this box. Then I'm going to go to find my data. Now, I'm using data in an Excel file, but you can just copy from weekly activities. You can try copying from the books. Sometimes it's formatted nicely, sometimes not. And so you got to be careful when it's not. But I'm going to try to give you everything so that you can just copy paste. So what does that look like? Well, let's say we wanted to look at some heights here from this. We don't have to do all of them. I mean, I guess we could do all of them, right? Why not? So we're going to grab all these heights. I'm going to copy, and then you can also use Control-C on Windows to copy this. Then I'm going to go over to the applet, and I'm going to paste in here. Got all these heights. Look at this. And we also have a header, so be careful with this. See how this box says includes header? That's telling the computer you should look. I'm telling you what this data is. So we'll use it. So a couple things to note here. Right here is the sample size. How many data points did we actually have? That's an important number. And then often we're going to also want a couple other numbers. So the mean, we'll click the actual button here. That's going to pop up the mean, both as a number and where it is on the picture, which is nice with an arrow. And then also the standard deviation's another classic one that we're going to want to see. Median and IQR, not very often we're going to want to look at those. And so standard deviation right here, right at the bottom here, gives us the standard deviation. So there you go. You've pasted data in, sample size, mean, standard deviation. Okay? And from here, you're pretty good. Now, what if we didn't have a header? We could look at that too. Like, let me get rid of this header, and I'll move up. And here, even though we have this clicked still, it still understands that there's no header there, which is nice. So we can unclick this too. Paste. Use data. And it's pretty smart. So it knows that even though this was clicked includes header, it knows, nah, there's actually no header there. And that's it. That is how you throw your data in here. We are not going to be using the stacked data right now, so don't worry about that. Just paste your data in, click the buttons. So so you know how this works in case you run into any issues. The way that this is input is the 60s input, and then a new line, and then the next one is input. So I'll just make a pretend one. And then each one of these data points is on a new line. Okay, so if you need to input data manually, maybe I was bad and gave you something that you can't just copy paste. You have to do it manually. All you'll do is you'll type in, go to the next line, enter, type in the next one. If on the off chance something like this happens and you don't get a good header, like a variable name, and you've got to type it in yourself, you can do that. That's fine. Be careful though. So this is like, you shouldn't have to do this, but in case you're doing your own data and you're just playing around or whatever, one word here. So height, and then maybe this is only the height female. Don't use spaces. It's going to get mad at you. If you want to put multiple words here to express your variable, just smush them together. Okay? You'll kind of see that kind of looking background here, left-handed, smushed together. You'll see that when you have data sometimes, because depending on what technology you're using, sometimes the technology can get mad if you have put spaces in your variable names. So just like a little tiny thing that if you're putting in data yourself could mess you up a little bit.